They call me Squirrel.
What's going on, Squirrel Squad? It's your boy, the Squirrel, and today I got Fred Dibnah's work revisited. I can't remember if it was the G-Man or Mick T or if it was, gosh, I don't even know who sent this over to me. Trying to think. Was it CBI? God, there's so many folks that help me out by sending me, things to when they find them, so that I know that they're there, so I can react to them. And this is really cool that this got sent over. I'm sorry I can't remember who sent it, and to go through the 10 different ways people send me stuff and try to find it. I did that earlier, and I'm like, man, I don't even know where I got this from, but I know I got it. So this is Fred Dibnah's work revisited. Bancroft Mill chimney at Barnoldswick? Yeah, sure. So let's give this a whirl. It's like 22 minutes long. It's going to be a long one, but I don't even know what we're getting into. So that should be fun. So let's get into it together. You ready? I think we can do it. Here we go. Let's see what this is about. I just wanted to pause it, just because I'll try not to pause it too much.
Greetings and salutations, folks, and welcome once again, as always, to another helping of Mr. H's Hot Pot. You join me today in a very damp Barnoldswick, which is right on the Lancashire-Yorkshire border. And I've come today, Hot Potters,
Barnoldswick, did I get that right?
with Mrs. H.
Hello.
And little Toby James, who's just in the car. And we're going to be taking a look at today that chimney behind me, which used to belong to Bancroft Mill. And we're now in the car park of what used to be the engine and boiler room to Bancroft Mill. The mill is long gone. It was demolished in 1980, and this lovely housing estate that you can just see behind me here, that appeared. Always the case, isn't it, with brownfield sites, a housing estate appears on it. Now, Fred Dibnah worked on this chimney back in 1999. It's being redone again today, sadly not by Fred, but we're going to get up close and personal with the chimney and see if we can find any marks that have been left behind by the late great Fred Dibnah. Now, one thing that's special about this chimney, Mrs. H, is that Fred Dibnah actually got his wife to climb up that chimney.
But you're not getting me up there.
I'm not going up there myself.
Oh, look at it.
But yeah, he actually got
It looks like Fred's scaffolding up there. That's great.
Sheila Dibnah to climb up there. Now, how that came about was Sheila was actually teasing Fred, and she said to him that you don't do anything special climbing up chimneys. And Fred said, do I not? We'll see about that. And he actually talked Sheila into climbing up there. Now, I've no idea if she made it right to the top. The chimney's between 120 to 130 feet tall. I've been told by the volunteers here at Bancroft Mill Museum that it's 124 feet, give or take, as it's been built on a slope apparently. But who's to a few feet?
Built on a slope.
Or 40 metres if you want to go metric. Anyway, without further ado, let's get inside and then make our way through, and we'll take a look at the base of the chimney and see if any of Fred's marks are still there today.
It's kind of a cool concept for a video, if you live local and you can go back and look at some history that involves Fred. I kind of like the idea of this. Let's see where it goes,
So we're now in the engine house of Bancroft Mill, and they have a little notice board here at the side with all the work and photographs from when Fred was working on the chimney. Mrs. H will just zoom in a little bit. We'll be able to see some of them. These here are obviously a view from up the chimney at the time when Fred was working. I do have some photographs of Fred working on this chimney, which I'll put in.
I never understood why people put in background music that is louder than they're talking. I never understood that. Oh.
And that's how Fred would have set it up back in his day.
He's got his hand wrapped.
Yeah, very tall. And here is the chimney through the window, Mrs. H, that you looked on. You'll be able to get right up close to that. Although there's ladders on it, Hot Potters, I'm not going to be climbing it.
Come on, Mr. H.
Not even a few little wrongs.
We've taken the bottom section off, luckily, so I won't be pressurised to climb up it. Anyway, shall we make our way through? And we'll just have a walk round this engine, which, as I say, isn't
Look at that, huh? The size of that wheel. Holy smokes.
And it's amazing that this has been preserved. I believe this group that maintains this was formed in 1982, and they've been looking after this machinery and this little site ever since.
It's unbelievable. Those machines are in such great condition. That's awesome.
We'll go down this side as well. Obviously, benches here. But when this is running, you can just sit here and listen to the sounds of the engine running.
With a big set of headphones on to protect your hearing.
And what is amazing is all the knowledge that is still needed to run this sort of machinery. Obviously, there's not many people who would have ran these originally still with us.
The size of those gears in that pit, it's like...
Look at those big rods there. And it would be amazing
That is
to watch
amazing.
this in action.
Wow. It's a massive machine.
There's the size of those ropes, you can see the thickness of them, that would have originally run the mill that sadly is no longer with us and used to be through the back of that wall there.
It's really neat. I mean, this is pretty cool. James Nutter and
Nameplate
Sons.
of the original owners. I believe it got sold, the mill, in 1958 to a Stockport company, and it then fell out of the Nutter family. And the Stockport company ran it until it closed in 1978. Now, this mill engine appeared in one of Fred's documentaries.
This kid.
Fred Dibnah's Industrial Age, and it was in episode 1 of that series. And this is roughly where Fred was stood talking about this particular engine.
This is the Bancroft Mill Engine Truss. And
I've seen
up
this.
until 1978, there was a big weaving shed out the back. You know, this is all that remains of it. The engine, the chimney and the boiler. And it's situated at Barnoldswick on the Lancashire and Yorkshire borders. They've turned it now into an industrial heritage centre where everybody can come and see the original mill engine in steam.
It's amazing, right?
There used to be loads of engines like this where I come from. Every coal mine and every spinning mill had one. But at last they've all gone now.
What is interesting is these two cylinders here, which are named Mary Jane and James, are actually named after the original owners of this mill, which was the Nutter family. Now, James Nutter, he never saw this to completion. Sadly, he died in 1914 before it was completed. And what his eldest daughter did, she named these two cylinders after her parents, which is a nice touch, isn't it?
It is.
It's a pity it's not running today, but I guess at least you don't get all the noise, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is how you would start.
Yeah.
The kid. Yeah.
I wonder how they get it up to steam.
Don't know.
Yeah, that's called a governor, that, over. Yeah, that would spin round and these rods would be going backwards and forwards.
Very cool. I mean,
One
this
thing
is...
that always amazes me.
I mean, I'm just soaking in the history of all this. I did see that episode you were talking about with Fred, so when he mentioned it, I was like, I think... And then when he showed it, I was like, I remember this. But it just... I mean, I think it's cool that he's enjoying the history so much. I love the Steam series with Fred that I've only watched a little bit, but seeing him and the chimneys and all the stuff, and he was just such an interesting bird, such a cool, like, just a larger than life character. So just to see this guy's enjoyment of it, really, and kind of giving us the history, I'm actually enjoying this. I hope you guys are enjoying along with me. By this point, if you're not, you're not still here anyway. So, but for the people who are still here, good on you. Thanks for enjoying this with me.
These engine houses is why they have such high window though. They all have that. Whether or not it's to let light in, who knows? You can actually see the roses there for the actual mountains yet.
The what? The pile of wood? You can actually see the pile of wood. That's dangerous pile
It's
of wood.
really amazing being in this, where Fred's been. Anyway, we'll make our way down and we'll find another little location where Fred was doing a little bit of talking from, and then onto the chimney.
Down to the chimney. Bet your butt. The little guy's narrating the video. I love it. Just climb it. Just do it, dude. Come on, H. H.
So this is another location at Bancroft Mill where Fred was talking from. And in the opening little bit of blurb that he gave, he said, I bet you think I'm here to knock this down, but I'm actually here to repair it. And he replaced 16 bands on that chimney. And I've been told that it's roughly every other one was one of Fred's. I think he actually made them at his own yard in Bolton, Mrs. H.
All
in
right,
his house, and brought them here. So it's pretty good that he forged them.
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh, here we go. Back to the Fred Dibnah.
I suppose you think that I'm here to actually knock this thing down, but there's so few of these things left now that, I'm here to preserve it. We've just put 16 new iron bands round, to preserve.
It's like the guy who works in the slaughterhouse killing cows his whole life, and then at the very end he's like, oh, I think I'm going to start working inseminating cows instead, and starting the circle of life instead of ending it. So instead of tearing the chimneys down, Fred's like, yeah, this time we'll preserve this one. We're going to keep this one. I like that.
Of our industrial heritage.
Right, we'll make our way around to the chimney and see if we can see any of Fred's marks. So we're making our way around now, and it's a compact little yard, this, isn't it?
It is.
I don't know whether or not it would have been as compact back in the day, but I think the engine now runs off all wood that's donated. So if you live in
That's what all the
Barnoldswick,
wood's for.
need to donate any wood and want to get rid of a fence or something, this is the place to bring it, isn't it?
It is.
I think there's all gutterings and all sorts. You don't see many wooden gutterings now.
No.
Mrs. H,
And here it is.
you can hear her breathing.
You fancy a quick climb up there for love?
Well, then off you go.
Now it still has its original crown. And I didn't know this up to doing a little bit of research, but
Those bands,
Andy
huh?
used to put the crown on it just for
Excuse me.
fancy. Apparently it was an early way of trying to make the smoke disappear in the air, and early air pollution type of thing. But they do look fancy, but that's why they're all different designs. People were doing all different things, and it's ironic that it was this chimney that actually closed this mill down, Mrs. H, because it was only running at half capacity
Yeah.
back in 1978 when it closed. And, they got a note, I'm presuming from the local authority, saying that you're producing too much smoke, can you do something about it? And because they weren't making much money, they just decided to close the mill, and it closed in December 1978. It's rather funny how all these mills sort of closed just before Christmas time. Whether or not they ran them just to give people the last pay packet or not, who knows? But just think, if you live in this garden, if you live in this house here, sorry, you've got a chimney in your back garden, haven't you?
Yeah.
Fred would love that, wouldn't he?
It would have done. But he sat up on top having his butties.
Yeah, I mean, literally,
Yeah, you would. That's funny.
the garden, these houses are just here.
He'd be sitting on top of it with a cigarette in his mouth.
Literally, do this.
Will you be waiting for that to come up market?
No, I don't think so, Mrs. H. You'd always worry about something falling off it, wouldn't you?
Yeah. It's...
And this is the view from the other side of that fence. This is in the aptly named Bancroft Fold, which is that new estate that was built on the site of the former mill.
The chimney really does stick out like a sore thumb now with all the houses around it.
And you can see just how close that factory chimney is to those houses.
Yeah.
As I said, literally, it's just the other side of that garden fence of the house with the green garage.
Bancroft Fold.
Now, Fred painted these bands red originally, and you can just see it coming through there. And the idea of these bands is to basically stop the chimney doing that. Now, this chimney has been built in different thicknesses, so it'll be really thick at the bottom and then it'll taper up towards the top.
Huh.
Obviously, there's lots of pressure, isn't there,
Yeah, and that
coming down on this.
I never noticed those
I mean, to
bands
be honest,
before.
because I go looking at a lot of these chimneys, looking up at this one, and I don't want to say this too loud because I don't want to offend these people, these volunteers, but it's not as tall as some of them that I've seen. So,
I don't think you're gonna offend
you know,
anybody.
I probably
They didn't build it.
would go up something this hard. I can say that, can't I, because I can't get up
I
there.
think I've just seen a ladder. You could get up onto that bit.
And this is how the steeplejacks today put them in. They use these hooks.
Oh, they don't use wooden pegs anymore?
But this one here is one of Fred's original plug holes.
There you go. That's
You
the
see
wooden
cement's
hole.
come out there. And he would put his piece of wood in and then put his dog in, as I've demonstrated many times. That's the next one up there, and it's been cemented up. And you can just see the other one just above that iron band there, just close to the base of that ladder.
Oh yeah, I see it. Yep. That's pretty neat. Oh, yeah, they just kind of put some mud on them and
Sadly, there's
close
no
them
cement
up.
tag on this. They did say that there used to be one, and I should imagine he used to put them roughly around his first plug hole, and he put his initials in. Well, that's been gone, and the reason being, these are Accrington engineering bricks, or Class B engineering bricks, and they're a very hard brick then. Really solid, they're a bugger to lay, especially in a damp day like today, because once they get wet, that's it, they just turn the mortar to mush basically. So really, what Fred should have done is he should have used a little angle grinder and recessed that brick, and then filled it in, and it would have given him a little bit more depth on his cement. Listen to me giving the late Fred Dibnah tips.
yeah, I know, right? I was just thinking that, like, oh, this guy, he knows what he's
But
doing.
because they're very hard bricks, the face of them,
That's so good.
it just comes off.
I mean, it's not a bad idea if you need a place to put your initials, I
It's
guess.
not here today, which is a real pity. Obviously, you've got the lightning conductor there,
And this one all the way up to the top.
It does.
and it's clever how they've put the bands
And
just either side of it there. You can see we've not gone over it, so that's clever as well. Well, this is the one that Sheila Dibnah climbed up. I think she only got about halfway up. Nobody here can actually remember her doing it. What Fred was trying to do, he was trying to reboot his TV career. By that point, it was waning a little bit. They'd sort of pushed Fred into TV documentaries, which, although they're very good, I always prefer the documentaries where Fred was just left to basically
Be
freewheel
Fred,
and talk,
yeah.
as he would do, having a conversation with you. And his idea was to try to pick up where Don Haworth had left off with the early BBC documentaries. So they got another cameraman to come round and follow them at steam rallies and basically do what they've been doing in the 80s. And there is footage out there of Fred's later career. Sadly, those documentaries, there was only one made. I'll put a link into my description and you'll be able to see that DVD was made, and I think you can buy it for $15.99. But the others, including the one where Sheila Dibnah climbs this chimney, sadly, they've not been made, which is a shame, isn't it, Mr. Wright?
It is.
That's a shame.
It really is.
I want to see Sheila climb. I'm just gonna have to download an AI program and be like, can you please make me a video of Sheila Dibnah climbing a chimney? I wonder what that would look like.
And then, I think she'd had enough. She rather famously said to Fred, I don't want to be a steeplejack. I bet
Yeah.
she never made jokes like that again.
No way, he's got it.
I've decided I don't want to become a steeplejack.
Just have a little look round here.
I wasn't expecting to see an actual piece of that clip. That's pretty funny.
I think you added it from both sides. Yeah, you can see where they've got ladders on this side as well. Somewhere there'll be plug holes. I'm assuming that's one of them there.
I'm tilting my head trying to
We
look up.
repointed the whole of this chimney.
Oh my gosh. I had my head tilted. I was trying to look up the chimney and see if I could see more plug holes. Oh my gosh.
This is it.
Did it?
Yeah. He swung from a bosun's chair up at the top.
He sure did.
He attached it to the crown and he was just swinging round on his bosun's chair.
Too funny. Now here we go. This is no.
Last job
Why?
in England where you can be wild. You know, if you go on the oil rigs, you've got to wear a tin hat, you know. As a small boy, it fascinated me, you know. I thought they were some sort of supermen. And I never realised that half of them were mad. Unusual breed.
Apparently,
He's sitting with a couple of ropes around a piece of wood, just floating in the air, talking up to a camera. Yeah, you're an unusual breed too, Fred. But we love you for it.
steeplejacks are not allowed to do that anymore, and they have to set it up this way. Health and safety.
Damn health
Now,
and
there
safety.
is some initials there, but they're not Fred's.
It's Jim.
Whether or not them are from 1920 when it was.
No,
built or not, who knows?
No, they're from Jim.
Again, there's plug holes there. Obviously, Fred's not the only steeplejack to have worked on this. There was work done on it in 2012, about 13 years after Fred had worked on it, and then they started work on this one in August 2023. Obviously, it's a continuing job, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I'd
That's
imagine.
how good someone does a job. It's got to be maintained. And I've been told that it's not been built plumb, apparently.
Right.
No, when you go inside and you look through the window, which we did earlier, you can see where they started building it, and then when they've looked at it and thought, it's been going out a bit, they've started building it back. So it's all shaped.
Oh, yeah, so it's beautiful.
But it's been here since 1920, so they must have done something right.
Yeah.
100 years, 104 years. It's crazy. Wow.
So imagine through here, you just come around here this way, you can still see the archway, which is rare, you don't usually see this bit on chimneys, where the flue would have been.
Oh wow.
You know, so where the smoke would have gone up. And this is the other side,
Yeah,
that flue opening.
pretty cool.
As I
That's
say,
very
you
cool.
don't want to see them because usually they're either underground or they've been built in. You can see there's a big crack in it there.
Looking for the crack. Oh, wow, yeah.
And what they
Oh,
do
it goes all the
at
way
the top
up.
now, rather than actually point it with mortar, they use
Wow, that's crazy.
expandable mastic,
Yeah.
which is a little bit, it's cheating.
That's cheating.
I prefer old school method of using sand and cement. But yeah, this is the chimney Sheila Dibnah climbed
Pretty cool.
with her husband Fred back in 1999. I'm tempted to go up there, Mrs. H.
Go,
I really
do
am.
it.
No,
Ask him.
no, I don't think they'll let me up there. Health and safety and all that, and not being sure. Bet you got a good view from up there though. Right then, I think we'll wrap this one up, Mrs. H. Eh? Well folks, that'll just about do it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this little video, taking a look at the chimney that the late great Fred Dibnah's third wife, Sheila Dibnah, climbed along with him back in 1999. A big thank you to Ian McKay and the rest of the volunteers here at Bancroft Mill Museum for accommodating me and allowing me to come and take a look at the chimney. Now today's video is also a little bit extra special because this is the last video that I'll be making in my 40s. Tomorrow I turn 50 years of age, and I've got a gift already, which is a mug from the souvenir shop. So until the next time, from myself, Mr. H, Mrs. H and little Toby James, it is bye bye for now.
Ah, that's pretty good. I like that. It's very good. That's the his YouTube channel is called Mr. H's Hot Pot. He's got 9.53 thousand subs, and if you guys want to check him out, I'll probably put a link into his channel if I remember to in the description below. If not, you can look it up. Mr. H's Hot Pot. Yeah, I enjoyed this guy. A lot. I'm gonna try to Started watching more of his videos. I subscribed to his channel. And I enjoyed it. It was good. I like how it's not like I was saying earlier, like, the music's so loud that they're putting over a thing you can barely even hear the guy. It's just good. It's just good, we're out, we're investigating some Fred work. I'm hanging out. I got the kid, he's having a good time being in the video. We got Mrs. H behind the lens, it's a little family project. It's nice. So, Mr. H, man, appreciate you, brother. Thanks so much, man. I enjoyed that a lot. It was, there's nothing spectacular as far as like information or anything like that, but it was a good, wholesome, feel-good piece with a guy who appreciated Fred Dibnah, bringing us on a little tour and giving us some history of an actual piece that Fred's worked on, which I thought that was nice. So, let me know what you thought of the video, and I'll hopefully catch up with you folks real soon. All right, be good to each other, be good to yourselves. Take care. Squirrel out.